and that is going to be the choice. The lane, obviously, you don't quite have the range that the Azir has, but you kind of just get through it by wave clearing as the Lissandra.
Yeah, and, you know, obviously, Lissandra can claw in, look for a route, and if Azir tries to ult her, she can just self-ult, and then she'll be fine. Then you have the follow-up with the Nami tidal wave. You have Gnar follow-up. The engage setups here for DRX are unbelievably good. It's really going to put a lot of pressure on Closer to make sure he's in the right position.
Both sides are just so hyped for this matchup because they know it's not only an incredibly important match, but also it should be really close and exciting, just like yesterday.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, it's definitely true. I think that Liv Sandbox do have a healthy amount of engage themselves. So if they can get ahead in the late game, they are going to also kind of be able to, you know, throw out a hook, get in a Glacial Prison, you know, have the Wukong engage, and then have a really nice follow-up. But we will have to see how this game pans out before we make a decision on that.
Yeah, exactly. I think you're absolutely correct in that, you know, it's not just straight up even unless it's even. Like, my statement is based on a, like, 0-kill game where nobody has a massive lead when we do get to that point. Yeah. Which one, we're not going to be at a 0-0, but Krako's coming up here.
Usually you see this in the bottom lane, but he's trying to force the flash, and he's not even going to be successful at that.
It's a very tricky matchup. Especially when Gnar takes Doran's Blade, which Kingen did not, actually, showing a lot of respect.
Uh-oh. We saw this yesterday. Got to be careful about those Nautilus hooks. They have that range to get you onto walls that you do not want to be part of. Okay, but the Lee Sin certainly want to make use of some of that early power.
Yeah. The first item for the Lucian and this area, they're both going to be looking for a completely different path as okay, Krako.
Oh, looks like Beryl might have been in the shop there, a little bit slow of a, okay. Krako's actually going to be the one that gets engaged upon. First blood will go to Beryl, of all people. And yeah, just the follow-up much faster there. Zeka in a perfect position to support.
Yeah. He's not hiding the plan very well. As Pyosik has 6 now, this is a scary moment.
And Pyosik just going to try to start this fight. The Nautilus not that tanky at this moment in time. He is really trying to bait this one in as, yes, that is the kill. Handed over to Zeka. And now the Frozen Thrall is coming out here. Liv Sandbox still considering fighting, which I am not so sure about. They did get a couple of members low, but now the Glacial Prison is out there on the depth, and it's not able to do too much at this point in time.
There's some real threat here. You kill the bottom 2v2, you drop a Herald down there, that lane is over.
Uh-oh, Closer coming in with his team looking for this one as Pyosik still has flash, but it's a 3v2 in favor of Liv Sandbox. Zeka gonna ult himself up, has his flash, elects not to use it this time around. As Pyosik gonna miss the Sonic Wave now, he's gonna have to get out of here. Has the Rift Herald, doesn't have a ward he can hop to because of that. Meanwhile, on the top side, looks like that Ignite was used, and so Kingen has to flash as well.
He flashed here, and with his wave, I don't think he should be looking for a trade here. Just doesn't want Dove to get the proc of the Demolish, but too bad. Nothing you can do to stop that. Liv Sandbox now gonna get the second Drake, it looks like, here to even things up.
That is a juicy Nami just out there looking to bait this one. Prince gets a ultimate off, but not before the Nautilus goes down. As now collapsing on in, Pyosik with Smite available. Krako incredibly low. Another missed Sonic Wave, but it doesn't matter because now they're going to get this full leash. It gets destroyed by Genji. So yeah, they did look pretty poor in that match, but so does everybody else against Genji.
Yeah, and it does start to feel like that was more of a sign of Genji as Krako.
Yeah. Do agree. Beryl is not in a great spot. Looks like he is free fish food here as Prince is going to pick up that kill. Get that shield bow online.
Flash and ultimate here.
Three things. Ultimate. We have a fight in the bottom lane. And there is a Krako coming down to the bottom side as well as Deft is really trying to make this work. Now he's going to kill Prince just like that. They say, nope, we're just going to handle this Lucian, no biggie. And now that Krako's here, they can, but that was not supposed to be a 1-for-1 trade in a 3v1.
Oh, it's so much easier for them with this Wukong, obviously, and this is going to be Deft culling here, and then Unfortunately, they don't wait for Kyle to actually get a really nice engage. I guess he does ult here, but he doesn't hit a hook, he doesn't get a root, and then Def just plays ring around the rosy. He's doing some alcove gaming.
Here we go. That's that engage from screens away, and Prince is going to have his shield bow procced as Pyosik goes way too deep, but it's fine, I guess, because he zones everybody away from peeling for Prince. It's a 1-for-1, but the Zeri is down. Def still shelling damage. And all of these melee champs can't do much against Lucian, especially now that they can't re-engage. Kingen also extremely farmed up.
He has
almost
cleaver.
Able to kill Krako.
Yeah, he's just like, I don't care about your resistances as Wukong. I'm just going to eat through that. Has the Trinity of Force, of course, to help do that extra damage. This is going to be sole point.
Zero vision. Now there are a bunch of pings going on this, but I think it's too late. I think Liv Sandbox should sneak it.
Yep, complete Baron sneak here. And the rest of DRX realize it way too late, but notice they don't have really any strong vision around the Baron pit, nor the entries to it. They do now, of course, as Pyosik puts down some...
DRX look ready to pull the trigger at a moment's notice.
There's no objective to fight for here, Liv Sandbox. Be very careful about how you group.
Oh no, that's going to be another missed hook here. Kyle is getting slowed up, hit by the tidal wave. That is a dead Nautilus. Now 5v4. Prince is over the wall, getting a little bit of damage done, but it doesn't look like nearly enough as ultimates are thrown in. Prince has to sail away as he is trying desperately to try to kite this out, but look at DRX, they're just a 5-man unit, and now Closer's gonna get isolated. Dove looks to potentially get isolated as well. Zeka's got another claw on the way, and that extra movement speed is going to be enough. That is 4 members. Oh, no, actually only 3, as it looks like Dove will not burn down, but a 3-kill win here for DRX.
Oh no! Oh, the Gale Force procs onto him, but he's already in the fountain. That was so close to killing him. It's just been more proactivity and just better coordination around this mid game. And obviously, DRX's comp spikes earlier, but they used it so well. I think it could have been any scaling AD carry. It could have been Jinx in this game that Prince is playing, and the result would have been about the same.
Yeah. King in here, no flash, but he is still incredibly confident, but he's got everybody from Liv Sandbox on his back here. As DRX, they do provide a front line for depth, but not nearly enough as Pyosic's also going to go down. They're feeding extra kills into the Azir and the Zeri.
This composition for DRX needs to be grouped. It needs to fight together. It is not strong in skirmishes like this. And they're just getting picked piece by piece. Looks like Zeka will get out here.
Uh-oh. You gotta be careful about just kind of dilly-dallying in front of a Lucian, as Deft is desperately trying to stop this push from happening. Of course, this was all because of setup for the Hextech Soul. And now here comes the rest. The Hextech Gate's going to help out a lot with this as DRX. They might just go for a flip. Krako is right over the wall here. You gotta be careful about this engage potential from Liv Sandbox. As in they go. It is gonna go the way of Pyosik, though. Meganar is timing out at the same time. Culling gets huge value onto Krako as Kyle kind of goes in alone, and now ultimated up his Closer into the bubble. In goes Pyosik. They can't kill him though, as Blessing it is stepped straight into Prince's open arms. And down he will go. They are feeding kills over to Liv Sandbox. DRX cannot get out of here either. As Pyosik and Zeka, they are actually going to 3v1 Dove, who's trying to keep them alive and around. As Krako going to dodge, Prince is just shooting fish in a barrel here, able to cleanse off the exhaust. Double kill extra for him, make it a triple, and Prince is online. It is official. I think it also gets the wolf stamp of greedy, you know? That's, I think that was actually, in this case, a little bit greedy. Like, you didn't have to do that. And now you're kind of running out of time here as Pyosik gets on top of Closer, who does not have flash, who's going to have to shuffle his way out of this one. A extremely low Azir. He's going to set up the Sun Disc and attempt to disengage. Now, you know, imagine that Liv Sandbox got the Baron.
Yeah.
Which they easily could have because it was a risky kind of flippy situation if, you know, the smite goes the way of Krako. Not going to be the case, so they don't quite have the pushing power.
Okay, this is a very scary fight to try to take without Closer. He does have teleport, of course. Have that ward, he's coming onto it.
Oh, this is really aggressive from Closer, though. I mean, he's going straight in to the rest of them. Kingen is getting isolated, though. He is almost definitely dead. Another kill over to Prince, who has 7 now. DRX are going to spot Krako in the bush, but this is another Hex Tech Drake that will go to Live Sandbox. 3 to the Fed, Zeri, and Azir.
Now Zeri should be able to pick up her Infinity Edge soon. And
that scaling sustain DPS and the insane amount of poke that Prince does bring with just the one ability,
I mean,
is going to be difficult. DRX, they need to engage, otherwise they're just going to get poked out.
Look at how difficult it is to clear these control wards.
Okay, Closer, he's got a crown. That's what it's for. Azeka is going to survive in this one. They attempt to set up and engage. It's a little bit lackluster. Kyle's able to frontline as now Prince, with that ultimate, is just getting on in there. Nice kick from Pyosik, but it's a little bit too little too late. They're able to just bully their way through this turret. Closer looking for whatever that was, but it is going to select the kill onto Barrel, and that might just be the end of the game. Live Sandbox, they take a couple of fights, and they are looking to take Baron.
Yeah, type back to Baron, but meanwhile,
okay, we got a fight. Looks like there is an isolated Piggy, but also Barrel pretty low. Krako trying to get the damage into death, but he's not quite able to close the gap, as Stopwatch is going to be used here, as well as the GA, but it's just Krako buying time again. It's what Pyosik did early on in the game, but actually it's just Krako this time around, as here comes Zeri. See you later, 2-hit onto the Lissandra, and down goes the Gnar. The Zeri moment happened, and now all of a sudden she's 11-2. There's not really much that DRX have to handle the damage of this Sandbox.
Yeah, I just want the Speed Racer song to be parodied with here she comes, here comes the Zeri. She's a demon on wheels.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay, I mean, there's just no defending this anymore. Live Sandbox, they pulled it off in the mid-game.
Yeah, absolutely. Huge turnaround for them as they make their late-game sustained damage really work for them. They really just held on for an impressive amount of time, and that's all they needed. 19 kills by the end of it all. Live Sandbox going to come up with the first win in the series. He has been doing well with the leads that he's been given. I don't know if I would have voted for him for my POG, but certainly if you give this man a hyper carry and you give him some kills, he will carry.
Yeah. For me, like, I voted for Closer. This game was 100% about him. Without his heroic plays, Zeri doesn't get those kills. We don't actually end up seeing a late game like this, and Krako buys so much time here. Zeka just doomed, and then Prince, look at this health bar deletion. Extendo Beam with the Infinity Edge, we talked about it. It's pretty busted.
And there was a window. You know, if DRX just played the mid-game a little bit cleaner, I think we may have never gotten to the Zeri moments. If they didn't try to force the Baron, no Zeri moments. Yeah. Maybe they just push. Maybe they just get a big enough lead, and then you take the Baron, and then you end the game, but wasn't meant to be.
It was a really good game of League of Legends, though. You know, regardless, it had its ups and downs. It was very back and forth, I think.
Yeah.
I think DRX have a better draft, and like, when you pick Lulu into Zeri, it's not because you're trying to outscale with the Kog'Maw. It's usually because you're trying to get a Lucian, Lulu land, because maybe Nami was not the best option for the rest of your draft. Like, Lulu, Kog'Maw into Zeri is saying, we're going to go to late game.
Off we go onto the Rift once again. We're going to see a trade up in the top side. Pyosik has taken a very nice route. This is totally unseen. Dove is going to hop, and he does have the flash, but that is not nearly enough.
The pillar afterwards just to, like, stake out his territory.
Yeah.
I didn't even need this to kill you, by the way.
Plant his flag on the territory of Dove. He has taken it over.
Kind of lucky, to be honest, and, like, he can also be that, but hey, Closer
very quick with his Foxfire, trying to set it up. Here's the side of DRX, knocked up and also pillared and also quickness. Closer still at half health, totally fine. Just really trying to make a play, but kind of half-heartedly before this Rift Herald does go down.
Prince is free-farming bottom side. I was going to say, like, he also left the bottom lane, which is part of why he couldn't threaten the plate, but now he's just sitting in the bottom lane as well, and Deft is up here. And, like, I really want Live Sandbox's draft to just prove everything we've said wrong somehow.
Dove has his flash available. He's getting close to Mega Gnar as well. He has to flash at the end of the needles. He was in danger of a potential follow-up snip as Pyosik trying to get in here, but it's Mega Gnar, so Just trying to delay, waiting for the lane to push in, waiting for the Mega Gnar to time out.
He can get this kill 100%.
Subjugate. Yeah, Dove is just... he's just burning down. He knows, okay, well, he's actually going to get the Mega Gnar away and then hop, so Pyosik not able to follow up there. Nicely played by Dove.
Happens, except the Dove will be able to teleport back here and won't lose his whole turret.
Okay, so they're trying to dive here, and they might just be able to. There are no ultimates available for anybody, but still, the hop comes in. That is some turret shots going into King in. Flash comes in, but the boomerang on the backswing slows down Pyosik. He can't get it, and this is just fresh meat for Closer. He is looking for as much damage as he possibly can, looking for the 2 kills. Pyosik quite fast with his W as well, but he can get dove here.
Closer has one more Spirit Rush over the wall.
Yeah, this is...
All right, now who's sitting under a turret, Pyosik? Now who's trying to survive?
Closer actually took turret aggro. That was not as clean as it could have been, as now Zeka trying to do the exact same thing. He's got this long wall.
He's got heal. He could speed himself up.
Closer not even going to... Okay, he's going to use his stopwatch, though. Yeah, so you weren't going to flash, but you used your stopwatch. Not sure about that decision, Closer.
About where we are here as Live Sandbox.
It's like 100 gold in favor of Kog'Maw. That's not really much, as there's a lot of pings behind enemy lines, as someone was back there. Didn't actually quite get to see who it was. I guess it's Zeka. So we cannot see the Lissandra right now. Krako going to get engaged upon, as there it is. They're going to try to 100 zeros of Dove, rather, and he's going to go near Mega Gnar. Gets Wild Growth to survive, but he goes back in, trying to get the Mega Gnar proc off, and it is not going to come out in time, as now the Cyclone is here, but where's the follow-up? It is non-existent. Live Sandbox not quite able to put in the damage just yet. Big play, but instant cleanse from Deft, as now the Glitterlance is going to try to save their lives, but it will not be enough. Krako going to burn down. Prince still not doing relevant damage, and that is extra kills over to DRX.
I think really just shows you like how comfortable this team is to scale, and gotta look for something.
Okay, they're looking for the Trundle. Pyosik not in a great spot here. Double Cyclone, as over the wall goes the Ahri, and they finally do get it. Prince picks up the kill. Pretty huge, actually. Gotta look for more picks. You gotta punish DRX's mistake. DRX this time, this is a real punch. Coming in with all 5, they're going to charm up Krako, who is not in a great spot. Cyclones and flashes away. Dove comes in, has to flash himself, as Closer is just trying to peel for his team. Big boomerang might be enough for Dove to get away, as it does get some nice damage in. Closer trying to make a play, continuing to try to peel. He's just gonna be taken down. Prince desperate to lay in the damage, and honestly, DRX are going incredibly deep on this one. Gotta be careful, especially with Mega Gnar getting closer, but after the pick on to Closer, it instilled a little bit of confidence in me. I'm like, you know what? This Kog'Maw with the range, with the ability to kite it out, if especially Gwen's Mist is down, perhaps he can do some insane stuff in the later stages of the game. Now, obviously, he does have to dodge the engage, but he has Cleanse.
I actually think this is good for him. He's just like, yeah, peace out. I think it was a bit risky, but at the end of the day, Krako's Cyclones without follow-up damage.
Dove did not have teleport either, so trying to call the bluff and pull them up here. Kyle is frontlining. They do not see whoever was down here on the south side. Pyosik gets really low. They're trying to take this engage, trying to get onto the back line, and Prince, with no summoners, gets 100 to 0 CC down. Not much that he could do. The turn is nice to get Prince, but at the end of the day, DRX do not get the Baron. They only get the 1 kill. Need to build that much damage because they're relying so much on Prince. Is that the right decision is also a different question. Closer in a little bit of trouble here. Has to go into that Zhonya's, and he is really difficult to take down, actually. The charm comes in, and Pyosik has to flash away, and Prince is just front to backing, and now he's frontlining as Death has to get away from him, but Prince flashes in, looking for the kills. He's going to take down one will Closer. And the huge turnaround from Live Sandbox is exactly what we were talking about.
So much damage on the Deft, he has to flash away. He's super low, can't actually turn around and continue to do damage. If he's able to survive just a few seconds longer, keeps his health bar higher, if there's a little bit more peel for him, then I think he absolutely could continue to carry that fight, but he's pushed away, he's down to 0 basically, he survives.
As he is on vision, as he moves away.
Okay, DRX, they're not going to take the bait here. It's going to kite back down, looking for soul point. If Liv Sandbox start this again. The turn is possible with this Narabar, but if they just wait it out.
Oh, look at this setup. Zero vision, and Barrel runs straight into them. And now that's your Rakan gone, who had flash, who had heal, as now they're trying to engage 4v5. Zeka gets polymorph, does get his ultimate off on himself. Prince also going to go down now, as Zep is frontlining himself, trying to help out Kingin, who is also doing the same amount of damage. Charm is going to come down here for Liv Sandbox as they're trying to kite this one out. They don't have their cog wall, though. I'm not sure if you should. Bit of damage there onto Kingin, but now you see that Kroko is going to be chopped off. The rest of Liv Sandbox just evacuating the situation. Dove is going to be second on the list, and I'm not sure if that qualifies as a Zeri moment, but certainly is a DRX one.
Yeah, I don't think we'll certify that one. You know, I was looking at the time. I'll might have to put that one in the books, but no, it's...
I mean, Pyosik just ran at them and subjugated the cog ball. So, you know, like all those chem tank resistances are immediately gone. As now, in goes Closer, looking for something. Big Cyclone as well, but the pillar is there onto Prince, and the cleanse is early, 100-0. And maybe we have two halves of a Zeri moment, because now Deft is 3-0-5, and I'm not sure that he's going to die. He has his IE already online.
But he made a deal for the IE. He bought one, and that was the moment.
Yeah, and, well, they're going way too deep. I mean, once you hit that Zeri power spike,
I mean,
like,
Barrel,
you feel invulnerable.
Barrel,
so
you were a front runner for POG. You were in this game, to be honest. I was like still ready to vote for you after the first time you died like this.
Yeah, I think DRX pretty simply just going to move forward. Charm misses here, and Vision is recaptured by DRX. Now the Scuttle Crab was taken by Liv Sandbox, so can provide a little bit of extra. And as DRX, I think, you know, just try to stick together as 5. Barrel is kind of doing, you know, his shenanigans once again. Don't necessarily have to do that. I think you can just move together as a unit and look for somebody and just blow them up. Have a lot of success with that.
Liv Sandbox, I think, really... I think unless you have an amazing Gnar here, you get a pick on the Barrel, you probably just don't want to fight this. You probably just want to hope for an Elder fight in 5 minutes, hope you could defend the Baron, because I don't think a 5v5 here is going to be your angle. Let's see, Prince is level 16 now.
Barrel is a bit zoned, and they have Mega Gnar there. They are certainly considering it, are Liv Sandbox, but Kroko goes over the wall. Yes, flash away. And now Mega Gnar is gone as Deft is frontlining. Here come the needles, and uh-oh, there we go. The combo gets into the backline. Prince is 100-0 yet again, this time snipped in 2 by the Gwen. And that is about the least surprising thing to me. You know, even when I first saw these two teams hit the rift in this game, Closer just going to be zoned away. The rest of the team just pushing mid as DRX are looking to try to tie up the series.
Pyosik is just going to chase down this Ahri under turret, doesn't even care.
Closer doesn't do any damage, and
it's personal for Pyosik here after what happened on the top side. Gets revenge. We are going to a Game 3, Valdez. DRX with a dominant victory here in Game 2. Some small adaptations for them in terms of how they controlled Baron and team fights. Their focus on Deft was on to Prince was very clean. They will.
As long as they select.
As long as they select it, I think they will. I really think that this game was even closer than I expected it to be. There were some angles for Liv Sandbox. They took some fights. The top skirmish was well played. They took a broken draft and almost fixed it in the game itself. Yeah, Tristana, we've had a lot of talk about Ziggs coming back potentially, but similar idea.
Oh. I feel like there is a lot of space that this comp creates for a Vayne. And think about a Vayne into Sejuani and Leona in her face. Like, she's just going to be chunking health bars in these team fights. And Deft, he's a really confident veteran AD carry. He says, give me the Vayne, let me carry.
I do want to say, Valdez, I said if Deft on Vayne doesn't make you decide you're watching the wrong region, maybe you just haven't watching LCK enough.
Yeah.
Make the health bars disappear.
Take a look at how many games. This is like we were playing League of Legends Retail, but now we're playing League of Legends Classic.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, People have been asking for League of Legends Classic. You know,
Here we go. You got it. It's right here in the bottom.
I mean, it's Leona Nautilus as well.
Yeah.
So,
also a couple of champions with a bunch of years under their belts. Part of the reason, okay, we're going to have an engage here. Vayne just tumbles away from the Q, and now Ignite is down. And guess what? That 30 extra movement speed. Kyle is not going to get away from this. Deft could flash in. He is going to go for the tumble, and one more auto will do it. Deft on Vayne. Picks up first blood.
This is an extremely high volatility lane because of Vayne's kit, her ability to chase, and her damage output.
4-on-4, no teleports available. Beryl looking for the Hex Flash over the wall. They will engage this one straight onto the Eclipse Leona as she does go down. And in fact, Zeka is going to be taken out next. Kozer gets so much value out of these follow-up Spirit Rushes as Deft is trying to kite it out against 3. He's actually doing a pretty good job. One auto will net him another kill, but only that kill. It's still the fight win to Live Sandbox.
And then he actually might kill Prince also as well. It's kind of crazy because of how deep Live Sandbox had to go into that fight.
So we're fighting again as Pyosik is going to try to flash away from this one. The Subjugate is finally used. He's a really tanky Trundle as now the front line is there, but the Cyclone is onto Deft, who does not have level 6 himself. King gets a big gnar in this back line as Zeka looks pretty dead, but Kingan's kind of going 1v4 now. Zeka's able to stop Watson by so much time, and now a front line once again created here for the Vayne. Krako gonna have to go into that clone, and finally Zeka did go down, so DRX looking to disengage here. As the whip comes out, the flail trying to do that damage. Krako going to get a Triumph proc, but Deft now hit level 6. He procs that ultimate, looking for a bit more. Even trying to frontline himself as these fights are really close to try to get this early turret, and Kingan is alone. He looks very dead.
He has an R bar and flash. Lissandra's coming up.
Dinar is only going to hit Kyle, who takes turret aggro as well. He is going to go down, but Kingan also looking to burn, will be taken down by the Sivir Q as Zeka tries to come in and help out his teammate, but he's just feeding the enemy AD carry as well as now you've got a 5-kill Sivir and a 4-kill Vayne in this game.
Yeah, I mean, if you had bought enough time as Kingan, or if Zeka had come up a little bit faster, or if Zeka had teleport, which is just coming up now, you'd feel good about this. Oh, Beryl also going to go down here. Prince will not be under turret aggro for this one. Another kill going over the Sivir, 6-kill Sivir. Now, Deft is also getting plates bottom side, but the idea was to buy time so Deft gets to win bottom and you defend top, make it a trade, but this is not the reality we live in. It's not an equivalent trade, as Deft will get, yes, some plates, but not the 3 additional kills.
He's got that available ready for the next fight. Kingan is not having a fun time in the side lane. He is up, though, 33 CS, so let's see how he can do in the straight here. Dove looking for the Glacial Prison. The Ignite used as well, and no escape for Kingan.
Look at the items.
That's not really a common sight to see.
Yeah.
The fans of Live Sandbox go nuts as Dove picks up a solo kill.
The other 4 champions on both sides are just kind of like, you know, they're NPCs. It's kind of what it feels like in this game. This is not an NPC moment here from Dove because he identifies, okay, Narbar is used to clear that wave. You're dead. I'm going to come for you. Waits the last possible second to ult after proccing, of course, the stun. And also no teleport.
In a rough spot without the cleanse. We're going to have an engage, though. In they go on to Pyosik, who's trying to frontline, but immediately gets shredded by Prince, who is just so fed in this game. And Beryl tries to re-engage. Not sure about that. He's got Kingan coming in behind as, yeah, that kind of tells the story. But Deft is trying to frontline now. Doesn't have much, doesn't have flash, and Krako just assassinates him. And the damage is coming out now from the legendary Sivir as Prince hits 8 kills at 16 minutes.
And so many kills were donated to the Sivir top side, donated mid.
Deft, you're kind of alone. He's got some support, but take a look at this. Prince hit 1 auto onto him. The other was a bounce as now the front line comes in. The charm onto the Zeka here as Krako is able to set this one up for his team on the follow-up. There is the second Cyclone. Kingan gonna get caught by that pillar. And not really much that the side of DRX could do.
Because he just doesn't have the HP, he doesn't have the resources.
And now, the 2 of them are caught down here. This is not a 5v5. This doesn't even look as good as the last fight. As they're going to pick up Pyoshi for free, Def decides, okay, well, let's just have a little bit of fun with this one. Is going to go forward here onto Closer. Gets slowed up there by the Glacial Prison, and eventually he will be taken out. Unfortunately, Vayne not really a 1v9 champ at this point in the game. And it looks like they want to go for a turn here. Lots of members in this brush. Looks like DRX not 100% sure about that, but that's just dead. Pyoshi gets charmed. And 100 to 0. Zeka is a frontline, and yeah, I mean, this is just the state of the game. Zeka is going to go down, and Deft and Kingen do not get to play the game.
He was also donated kills. Speaking of donated kills.
No. Leashed onto there by the tether, and that is going to be Prince. By the way, 12 kills. I suppose for him, he's probably just a little bit sad that he died the one time, because if he didn't, he'd be 12-0 and 8. It is still an incredibly impressive scoreline, and might not have too much more time to boost it, because I think this game might just end. The Baron buff is coming in. Liv Sandbox will collect their third inhibitor eventually.
There were so many complexities about these two drafts that I was so excited to discuss, Valdez. You know, I really wanted to talk about how the late game team fighting was going to go on an even footing. Even mid-game team fighting on even footing, we just did not get to see.
Yeah. Deft is, you know, he's trying. He's going to cleanse here. And then he's just going to get followed up on with the insane amount of engage that they have. And Sivir is just ripping through the entirety of this composition. Everybody on low health now. Take a look at that damage. Just insane stuff. As Prince nearly dies, is going to have to go into his stopwatch. But that's just because they're having a little bit of fun, trying to boost their numbers here. This Nexus will go down, and Liv Sandbox is going to get one step closer to that third place spot. They will try to challenge Dalmon Kia as they move up in the standings.
Just calling out even individual ability cooldowns at the end of things. And I mean, look, Prince, he's going to pick up a 13 for 13 POG here. He was given a lot of money, and he used it well. Anticlimactic end to what was a very back and forth series, but that's just how it goes sometimes.
And guess what, guys? This was the first series of the night.
Thank you very much, guys. This is Jason for the PUG interview. Translation joined by Prince, the solo PUG of Liv Sandbox. You guys got another win over DRX and got the 9th win. How do you feel? Because we lost the Nongshim series, every single match matters, and I'm so relieved that we won. Yeah, Liv Sandbox was able to get the win on a very important timing. And you are tied for the second place with 900 POG points. I mean, not gonna lie, I kinda wanna become the PUG leader, but Closer, I mean, today told me like, you are like so far up in the standings and you are now like gone. But today I was able to do better and made myself back on the second place in the PUG standings, so I'm so happy. And prior to the series, you actually uploaded a photo of Beryl. Why was that? Well, my wallpaper was that photo of Beryl on my computer. My wallpaper has been Beryl since like June 27th, and I was doing my best to stop him from dominating the game. And today, I also had my Kakao Talk, you know, also put him on my Kakao Talk profile, and I sent him the photo of a screenshot of my profile, and he was like sending me an emote of a character munching on chips, and I don't know, I just did it. So, Liv Sandbox got a huge comeback victory in Game 1. Liv Sandbox had a decent comp looking at the draft. However, the game started off with a lot of accidents that did not go well for Liv Sandbox. So, the moment I got counter solo killed by Deft, the game was so close to just losing because of Kyle's throw, but I want to talk about the Baron play, so I actually looked into your cue card, and I know you're gonna ask me about the Baron play, but I want to talk about this right now because that Baron play, the Baron call was mine. I made that call. I told my teammates to go for the Baron, and then it was like down to 50% health HP, and I was like, they have no idea. So we were able to make a huge comeback with the Baron play. So the first Baron try was your shot call, right? However, let's talk about the second Baron. DRX was the one this time around to secure the objective, but you guys decided to just take down the opponents. So how did you see this team fight angle? Sorry, my earpiece just fell off. You're gone from the camera, Prince. Sorry about that. So yeah, I mean, my earpiece just fell off. I'm sorry. So no one was actually zoning us out. So their positioning was like broke because they were focusing on the Baron, not the team fight. So we were able to get a couple of kills on the enemy front line, and after getting 2 kills, I was pretty sure that we'll be able to close out the team fight. In game number 2, you guys let Zeri through and then decided to play Kog'Maw Lulu instead of Sivir, a counter pick this days into Zeri. Is that because this Zeri didn't have Yuumi, or were you just confident with the Kog'Maw Lulu comp? We were, you know, both considering Kog'Maw and Lulu, and in scrims, my Kog'Maw was really strong and powerful, and my teammates kind of prefers it, you know, and we wanted to try this today. Then what kind of feedback happened after losing that game? So past, you know, 30 minutes into the game, I kind of realized it's really hard to do damage, you know, to find the angle and opening to do damage. And game 3, we were able to have the side selection, so we didn't really talk too much about the game we lost. And then with that Sivir locked in game 3, we saw Sivir versus Vayne matchup after 3 years. When Deft locked in Vayne, we were like, oh, whoa, whoa. However, I did play Vayne time to time before, and Vayne definitely has a very obvious and vivid weaknesses, you know, lane prio and very slow wave clear, and also in team fights, you know. Unless she can focus fire one target, she doesn't really do much as an AD carry, so I was pretty aware of those kind of weakness of Vayne, so it was not a big deal. I also want to hear about your thought on Sivir. Sivir right now, it depends on the draft, you know. Sometimes you can blind pick it, sometimes you have to consider the enemy comp as well. But just like game 3, she can carry by herself. I really wanted to say this. So Beryl, you know, is known as the master of League of Legends. And there's this typical gameplay where 1 minute 30 seconds before an objective comes up, he actually gets caught out and forces a spell with in order to secure that kill, and then he kind of capitalized on that with the around the objective fight. So I kind of knew that he's gonna play it that way this time around as well, you know. He always just go for that play. He kind of overextends 1 minute 30 seconds before the objective in order to get the flash out of the opponent, and then they turn it around the objective. So I just wanted to say this once I get a chance. Next week, Leap Sandbox goes against Damon Kia and KT Roaster. A very important week for Leap Sandbox. So because we just dropped the series, you know, there are many cases where we can actually close the gap, or the opponent's closing the gap. So we really have to work hard in order to get rid of all the weakness we've got, and I hope to have a great match against 2 teams. And we had some fans having events in the crowd as well. So how was it? I was so happy to see that we have so many enthusiastic fans, and also I had a lot of messages from the fans supporting us, and I'm so happy that we are able to make it up the last defeat after and this time around. And this was the Bank Derby, you know. I'm so happy to take down the Shinan Bank DRX this time around. And this will be the end of the interview from Prince, the solo POG of Leap Sandbox, and back to the carpet space. Thank you.